Hi there, and thanks so much for checking out my bujo video. So January 2023 is upon us, and this video is going out quite a bit later than I had wanted it to. December has been a really busy month for me, and I struggled to get my 2023 setup video done. Because of that, I was also really delayed doing my January setup, and I was getting quite stressed out and worried about it, and a theme idea wasn't really coming to me, and I did seriously consider not doing a video or a setup at all for January. But the idea of not doing one just made me really sad. I've been doing it for 2 years now and I haven't missed a single setup or a video. And yeah, the idea of just starting 2023 off without doing one at all was really sad. So I've really pushed through and I've managed to do it. It is a much reduced one this time because I just didn't have time to do all my normal setup, all of my normal pages and trackers and stuff. So this is a very much reduced monthly setup. If you watched my 2023 setup video, then you will know that I am attempting, she says optimistically, to theme my whole journal this year. And my theme is based around travel or countries of the world. And I mentioned this before in my previous video, that the themes are not necessarily going to be really on the nose, so the designs could be based around something less literal to do with that country. So it could be based around something the country is famous for, or maybe the colours of the flags, or a famous artist that was from that country. Just things like that that inspire me from different countries around the world. And so to ease myself into it this month, I have gone for a floral design, which is something I'm quite used to. And I thought I would start off in my home country of England, which is within the United Kingdom. So many countries around the world have a national flower, and the flower associated with England and the emblem of England is the Tudor Rose. So the Tudor Rose is made up of 2 roses. The white rose is the House of York, and the red rose is the House of Lancaster. In 1485, Henry VII, which was the House of Lancaster, took the crown of England from Richard III, which was the House of York. And then in 1486, Henry married Elizabeth of York, which then brought the 2 houses together. And he then conjoined the 2 roses and used that as the Tudor Rose. The Tudor Rose is the emblem of England. It can be found in the royal coat of arms and in connection to many other royal and parliamentary things in England. And yeah, I don't actually like the very simplistic Tudor rose itself, so I have decided to do the rose as it would look in nature, I suppose. So they're made up of 5 petal roses, and they would be wild roses or dog roses. I am keeping to the colour scheme, so some of the roses will be red and some of them will be white, and I'm using some watercolours to colour in the red ones and green for the leaves. I'm using a fine nib pen to sketch out my roses. I'm using a 0.2 for the main elements, and then I'm going in with a 0.05 nib to do all of the finer detail. And I'm using the pen to do the detail rather than spending time doing shading with the watercolour. I want it to be quite quick, so I'm just going to put 1 layer of watercolour on, and then the shading will do the hard work rather than me having to mix various colours to get more detail in the roses. I decided to add a splash of gold in there and used my Calero Pearl Colour gold metallic paint to do the lettering. And I also added a little dab of that to the centre of the flowers as well, just to add a little bit of sparkle. Onto the calendar page, and I'm using the same design along the top and using that same lettering again. This month I'm going for big old chunky boxes in my calendar. I like to leave a good amount of space to write all the various events going on each month. I accidentally did an extra box which I didn't need, so this month starts on a Sunday rather than the Saturday, so later I go in and get rid of that box with a white gel pen. And for each date I am adding a black dot, which I will then write the number in with the gold paint. If you've ever watched one of my videos before, you know that I don't really do rulers. I don't know, I don't have anything against rulers particularly, I just prefer a wibbly line rather than a perfectly straight line. It just feels more organic, I don't know, I just really like it. And also, when you use a ruler, if you get something slightly wrong, it's kind of more noticeable. So like with perfectly straight lines, like the tiniest little thing that's wrong just jumps out at you straight away. And the next spread is my to-do list. I kind of feel like my calendar and my to-do list are my real essentials in a setup. So I have left out some of my usual things. I would normally have a tracker page where I kind of track my daily habits and also my plant watering. I would also have a gratitude log and sometimes a notes page, sometimes a quote page, but yeah, I've left it all out this month just to save some time and take a bit of pressure off. The to-do list, again, super simple, just using that same design around the edge, and I'm sort of melding the box into the design, which I quite like. Painting in my flowers and leaves with watercolour, and then adding the gold at the top for the title. And then, as I mentioned, leaving out some of the other spreads I would normally do and just heading straight into my weekly spreads. These again are quite essential for me. I write down things like appointments and stuff like that in a bit more detail in these pages, things I need to do, plans, etc. So yeah, these are essential for me for my setup. And again, this is quite a time-saving one, so I'm just doing it in a grid format. And then in the gaps, I'm adding in some more florals. Because this month starts on a Sunday, I didn't want to have one page with just one day on it, so I've added that Sunday to the next week so that I have 8 days on one page rather than 7. So each page is in that same format except for the last page where there are only 2 days of the month left, and then as there's plenty of space underneath, I have left some space for my memories, which isn't essential but is something that I really like to fill out, and it provides something really nice to look back on at the end of the month. I hope you enjoyed this shorter than usual setup. I'm pleased with how the design turned out. I think the roses are something that I really like, but I wouldn't normally choose such bold colours. I do think they look quite cool, and I did want to stay true to the Tudor Rose inspiration. And yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. Thanks so much for watching. I'm really looking forward to getting my February design done. Hopefully I will be back to normal by then and have all my usual spreads included. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and a comment, and consider subscribing if you want to see more arts and crafts and bujos. Thanks so much, bye!